Hello again, everyone! Who's ready for a spooky Mariomon video to celebrate the spookiest season of them all? Autumn. The scariest part about being a Nintendo fan are the Switch 2 prices. The response to the last video was phenomenal, and I deeply appreciate the members of the Draft League and even the dev team for watching it. I put a lot of work into it, and I'm so happy it paid off. There probably won't be any hour-long specials for a long time, but I do aim to post more videos here in the future. Before I get into today's main topic, I would like to take a moment to go over some things that have changed since the last video, as well as some things that might have been misrepresented a little bit. For starters, neutralizing gas huff is a lot better than I gave it credit for. When I said there weren't any abilities worth disabling, so that was an understatement of the fucking century. All of the normal type changing abilities, Prankster, Levitate on opposing Huff, Trapping abilities, Weather setting abilities, Shadow Shield on Happy Moon, yeah, it turns out it's still pretty viable. Not to mention removing Defeatist on Rex, the only other legal dragon type besides the ones I already mentioned in the last video. It doesn't quite have the stats of Archeops, and being weak to Birdo sucks, but 95 base speed is lightning fast in this format, especially with 130 attack and Dragon Dance. All that to say, neutralizing gas is actually not half bad. It's a tiny bit more restrictive on team building, but it does bring a lot to the table. Secondly, I both overstated King Boo and understated Birdo. Don't get me wrong, King Boo is still a top tier Mon, but it's not quite as annoying as I made it out to be in the video. It's not the best Mon in the format, not when Birdo exists, so no. Birdo is so nasty. On top of Hyper Voice and Boom Burst with Pixelite doing serious damage, it's Lovely Kiss that's the biggest issue. I mentioned how nice it was in circumventing rough matchups in the last video, but it does it way too well. Not to mention, it's extremely free to click. It genuinely feels more accurate than Heatwave at times, which sucks when the move in question can just decide to not let you play the game.
It's a big deal. We can handle it. The kiss of death.
It's the most reliable sleeper by far, especially compared to Muncher, the obligatory slow grass-type spore user of the format. Even if Birdo only had Dazzling Gleam for damage, it would still see usage because of Lovely Kiss. Using ladder stats in the last video was a good way to convey how good or popular certain Mons were, but August was, well, not super active. Needless to say, we're kind of trying to bring back ladder right now. We've already played more games on ladder in September than in August, so here's hoping the usage stats continue to look a little more reasonable. Let's see, what else? Uproot has been used a lot lately. People used to think it would be terrible because we thought it had the nerfed version of Disguise, but it's actually the original version, in spite of what the Pokeathlon description says. Firing off Glare at 100 base speed for speed control, plus Stab, Knockoff, and Sucker Punch, and the ability to basically always take 2 free hits with Disguise and Focus Sash, it's actually pretty solid. And maybe a little annoying, even if it's not top tier or anything. It's far and away the best grass type in the format, even without using any grass stab. Also, you know how I was raging over how Angry Sun shouldn't get Sunsteel Strike in the last video, because it would hit through Happy Moon's Shadow Shield? Yeah, so Shadow Shield just ignores the ability negation effect because it's just better multiscale. Yeah, that one's just on me, my life is a lie. One last thing to mention is that the Mariomon devs actually added a new effect to Runaway, giving it an extra trapping immunity. Game Freak never made the ability work like that for trainer battles, and I don't know why. This mainly affects Bandit, since the other captures with Runaway are a little... Now with all of that said, I'm going to talk about a Mon that I barely even alluded to in the last video. One that is rather infamous for being the gimmick Mon of the format. More than Gushin, more than Spark, this Mon drives people up a wall. When I recorded the footage for this video, people would ask me, "Are you really doing this? Are we really bringing this guy back?" And to that I say, let this be a warning. I do not encourage anyone to use this capture. People will hate you. In the earliest days of the format, we should have lost players to this thing. If anything, take this video as a guide on what to look out for when you see it, especially if you run into it without open team sheets on ladder. The capture I'm going to talk about today is dry bones. Mon. Good lord. Dry Bones is the Shedinja-like of Mariomon, having just 1 HP with the Wonder Guard ability, making it immune to every direct attack that isn't super effective. Similarly to Shedinja, it also evolves from its pre-evolved form alongside another Mon, being Paratroopa in this case. It is a dark ground type, which gives it a couple extra benefits compared to Shedinja. It's immune to Sandstorm chip damage, and it's immune to status moves from Prankster, which does have its use cases. Dry Bones also has slightly higher stats on the whole, but again, with 1 HP, it's really just the 10 extra attack that matters. What makes Dry Bones annoying compared to Shedinja is the sheer flexibility of how you can run it. It's a win con kind of Mon, where you need to get rid of every threat that can damage it in order to win. But Dry Bones also offers a lot to its teammates that Shedinja just can't do. Its main damaging move is Knockoff, which helps deal big damage while removing the opponent's item. It sometimes runs extreme speed for the extra priority, although it's far less common. As far as ground type stat goes, all you get is Bone Club, which is thematic but also really bad. You're just going to stick with Knockoff for damage. You'll also always want to run Focus Sash on Dry Bones, since you'll need to survive at least 1 hit to have it stick around long enough to win. There are what I consider to be 3 core pillars of Dry Bones strategies. You can run 1 on a team or even all 3, but the end result is the same. Make Dry Bones as annoying as possible. Pillar number 1. Shell Smash and Co-Star Birdo. Shell Smash is without a doubt one of the single best moves you can give to a Shedinja-like. When you die in 1 hit anyway, the defense drops don't matter in the slightest. The idea is that you get Bones in a position where it can set up freely without risk of taking damage and switch in Birdo with Co-Star, which copies all of Dry Bones' stat changes. I mentioned before that Birdo with Lovely Kiss would still be good even if it only had Dazzling Gleam, and this is the exact set that's like that. For the record, this goes with all Dry Bones strategies. Trapping is also extremely important for these to work. Major Burrows helps a lot with this, trapping in threats that can be picked off before Dry Bones hits the field. And Earthquake is very safe to use next to Dry Bones, since it's immune to ground-type damage. Pillar number 2. Soak Bones. The idea behind Soak Bones is very simple. You take a Mon that knows the move Soak, which changes the target's type to pure water, and use it on Dry Bones. Simple as that. It removes Dry Bones' Fairy, Bug, Fighting, Water, and Ice weaknesses, only keeping the Grass weakness and giving it a weakness to Electric. The thing is, Grass types, let alone Grass type attacks, are extremely uncommon in this format, because there's just nothing else you'd be able to hit for super effective damage, and the best Water types can hit the Grass types back even harder. The captures that can learn Soak include Stroll and Stew, which is just bad. It's like Glalie with less HP. And the Gushin line, which, as you may already know, are very good. A beginner player might use Gushin due to its speed, but it runs into the same issues that Gushin runs into normally, mainly priority and frailty. I found that Maul is much better at getting Soak off. You're basically just using an already good Mon with 1 less move slot dedicated to a good move, and because of Maul's higher bulk, it can last for much longer during a game and save Soak for the end when Dry Bones can come in safely. From there, you can just set up and sweep. killer number 3, Stirred Bones. This one is a bit more interesting. Dry Bones has access to a move called Roleplay, where it can finally live out its fantasy of having another ability. Normally you can't have a Mon copy Wonder Guard with Roleplay, however, there's no restriction if the Mon with Wonder Guard uses the move on something else. When paired with Iron Cleft with Sturdy, Bones cannot be killed by any attacking move, due to the way Sturdy works with only 1 HP. When you take a hit that would normally knock you out from full health, Sturdy makes you hang on with 1 HP, so when you have 1 HP at full health, you essentially never die. With all of that being said, you might be asking yourself, wow, this Mon is really annoying and I hate it. And you'd be right, however, there are some things that make it far more manageable. Put it simply, burn. Just Will-O-Wisp. It KOs it instantly, no hassle required. King Boo is the best user of the move since it already runs it all the time anyway, along with other things. You can even run Shrew with Poison Gas if you're feeling up to it, although that's more so a team-specific thing. On top of that, the fact that Dry Bones is weak to Fairy and Water is very unideal in the Birdo Cooper Maul format. There's also contact damage has to worry about, like Blarg's Flame Body or Ironcleft's Spiky Shield, as well as Rough Skin, Iron Barbs, and Rocky Helmet, although you basically never see those last 3. Not to mention the aforementioned neutralizing gas on Puff and Puff, shutting down Dry Bones' whole operation completely. Basically, as long as you respect Dry Bones enough to bring something to the game that beat it, you should be fine. Even if that means Dry Bones has done its job of luring in Mons its partners can handle for it. In essence, Dry Bones is a very intriguing, albeit kind of infuriating Mon to go up against because you have to respect it. Unlike something like Spark's WinCon, Dry Bones feels like an actual Mon, not something that just sits there doing the one thing it's good at. A good Dry Bones team is built around Bones, and Bones can offer a lot to the team without feeling like dead weight that happens during new games. The person piloting the team also needs to respect the possible threats to Bones' strategy, and not be like little Timmy running Soak Bones on ladder. And so, with Season 2 of the Draft League underway, I must now slink back into my hidey hole and plan my next strategic move. I don't know how to end this, so here's a sick clip of Dry Bones dodging a blue shell.